Hi everybody, this is Tommy Simolu, and I'm here with our pastor, Father Kelly.
Hi, good morning everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. So here we are. We are even further into our kind of lockdown as we're going through it as a society. And we just wanted to check in with you and check in with the parish to see how everyone's doing. So how do you think things are going around here?
I think everybody's sort of still up in the air. We don't know what we're going to do, where we're going, and we're full of anxiety and fear like we talked about last week. But we're trying to find a way to get through it and try to reach out to people in different ways and kind of just keep going forward and adjust or pivot as we can.
We did a couple new things as a parish, that came out through social media. What did you think of the stuff that went out this last week?
I thought it was excellent, and I think the responses that we've gotten from people especially have been, very encouraging and certainly grateful in every way. And it's kind of one way that we're just trying to reach out to people that are stuck at home and in quarantine or can't be here. Something we can do, of course, long term after as well. So there's a blessing in all of this that unfortunately we can't be together. However, on our side, what we're trying to do is say, what are the areas that we've been talking about this over and over, how can we actually make this happen?
Yeah. Well, we talked about, videoing the Mass for such a long time, and we've kind of played with the idea, and we've recorded things here or there, but this was the first Sunday where we put out an entire Mass.
Correct.
Just for everybody, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is, and like I can tell you from my side, it's very different. You're used to seeing hundreds of people on the weekend and smiling faces and everything else, and being able to greet people in and out and share the faith with them in a particular way as a community. But then looking out and seeing the pews are empty, it's kind of how do you give them the same joy, the same excitement, the same prayer at the same time where we can't physically be face to face. So I can tell you from my side, it seems a little weird, and I'm sure from other people's perspective it's similar, but it's a way for us to connect, and that's what it's about. Is at the moment we're kind of churches at home, and how can we bring our church, our other home, to them?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. There's a lot of people who keep thinking about the inability to receive the Eucharist, and who feel that they're doing something wrong by not being a church. What would you say to them?
So I think that this is where we can, again, in growing in our faith and the things that we're trying to put online, there's also moments for us where we can teach exactly that, what the church teaches in times like this, when it comes to absolution and confession, what it also talks about with spiritual communion, I think are things that we can touch on and kind of explain in other ways. But we are participating in a way, and though we're not receiving the Eucharist and the body and blood of Christ in our hands, we're still participating in it as a community. So, it's the times that we're in, but it's a temporary time. And I think that's the big thing, is just emphasizing over and over that it's temporary. And there's a blessing in that, and we kind of talked about it briefly last week, where this allows us to slow down. It allows us to refocus. It allows us to recognize maybe even what we kind of took for granted, being able to come here and then go about our daily lives, where we slow down and say, okay, let's focus on our family, let's focus on our faith, and looking forward to when we get to be together again. So
that's good. That's awesome. Has there been anything that you felt inspired by? I mean, we have limited movements. The only places we're really able to go are the supermarket.
Correct.
And outside if we're lucky.
I think it's times like this where we can really see the best of humanity, because we have people that are calling and emailing us in response to things that are being pulled in their own hearts as far as how can they reach out. How can I go shopping for somebody who can't, and while still keeping social distancing, I can drop it on the door. What are the ways that I can, donate still to the food pantry? What are the ways that I can still support the parish? But we've also had a lot of people that are coming in with new ideas, like we talked about last week, of doing something new once they're back. You know what I mean? And it's like, again, this is the time where they've been at home to really sit there and say, this is how I can make this place better, you know, and reach out better and help people in a better way. And that's incredibly inspirational, you know.
That's awesome. So as I've been talking to people and I've been watching people online, I've noticed there's a lot of worries, and I would be remiss not to ask, is there any worries you have for the parish?
I think we all have worries. The biggest worry is, when is this going to end? I think that, you know, the uncertainty is certainly something that, you know, tries me personally. I'm a planner, so I like to know, you know, what's the end date for this? You know, when are we going to be done with, you know, quarantine and social distancing and shelter in place? That's certainly a worry. My biggest worry is us getting out of our routines. And like everybody knows with me, I'm a routine person. And, you know, it's dinners at 5, not 5:30 or 6 or anything, but we get out of our routine of coming here on Sunday that maybe it was difficult for us to get back into. So that's certainly a huge concern for me, is that in this time that we don't see it as how quickly can I get back, but I fall out of the routine of coming and, you know, actually growing in my faith and recognizing how important it is. Like everybody else, I mean, we have, you know, certainly financial worries. You know, people are out of work. Our food pantry is getting increased calls, which is, you know, incredible, and God bless the people that are, you know, helping to run it, and the staff is pitching in with that as well, because that's sort of the, you know, the food banks need to stay open. People are in need. They're in need more. So you worry about, you know, do you have enough supplies? Do you have everything that people need? Financially, we worry about, you know, we have heat, lights, bills, salaries, everything that, you know, everyone else has to worry about. So, you know, when people can't come here and they're offering, you know, their contributions every week, of course it's something I'm going to worry about as a pastor. You know, so there's people that are mailing their stuff in or signing up for e-giving, you know, which is certainly great. And, you know, I'm grateful for anybody who can do anything like they normally would, you know, and would encourage them to continue to do so, because, you know, unfortunately that's, again, the society we live in is run on money, and all these things cost stuff. So those are sort of some of the worries that I have. The other one is, I think, being able to be there with people. You know, because we're doing this social distancing, it's being able to visit people in the hospitals, being able to visit people at home like we normally would. You don't get to connect with them in the same way, you know, and that stinks.
Yeah.
You know, that really stinks. You know, that's what I signed up for, was to go out there and be with the people, and that's kind of you're limited in that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's fair. I guess maybe as a final question, how have you seen people stay connected? Because that's kind of the thing, you know. If this was 50 years ago, we would truly be isolated. But how have you been seeing people stay connected?
So I think a lot of people are trying to, through social media, of course, the stuff that we're trying to put out, people are responding with. People are calling in still with their prayer intentions, and, you know, I think the biggest thing is, let us know how we can do anything we can to help you. And people are reaching out, which is great, because that's the way that we stay connected. We're trying to call folks at home. We're doing this as a staff, and where the parishioners have offered to do it as well, because not everybody is online or on social media. So what are the ways that we can stay connected in some way, you know, and reach out with just a simple phone call or something along those lines? We're open to anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if anyone's listening, and if you see this online, there's always a comment section, and if you sign up on the comment section, if you want to ask questions or leave your comments, please do so, because we are listening. We want to be the best parish we can be during this time.
I think the final thing I'd say is, don't hesitate to call us. You know, we're limited as far as, you know, in-office staff, but it doesn't mean that we can't reach out from home. That's certainly what most of us are doing, is working from home. So we're learning on that curve, connecting, you know, virtually in that way. But, you know, don't hesitate to call us, and even if it's just to talk, even if it's just to connect, even if it's something that you're going through, and though we can't address it face to face, it doesn't mean that we're not here, because we're here in the same way, and we're eagerly, trust me, eagerly waiting for all this to be over, so we can kind of go back to normal, but be even better from it. It's kind of, we're spending that time in the desert in Lent, where we gave up a little bit more than we thought we were going to give, but we're going to have that Easter Sunday, and we're going to be full of joy and hope and everything, and it's going to be great. But the biggest thing is, let us know how we can help you. I'm certainly grateful again for everybody who's contributed in their own way, whether it's willing to help out, whether it's financially, whatever it is. I'm certainly grateful for all the prayers. I know all of us in the staff are. We're praying for you. We're still having masses every day. And let us know what we can do. If you have new ideas that you can share with us that we could try, we'll certainly do the best that we can. So.
Awesome. And I guess if anyone is looking to sign up for e-giving online, you could always do that at www.stambroslatham.com/e-giving, one word. So awesome. Father Kelly, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see everybody soon. Take care.
God bless.